Hey! 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 Are you wearing shoes?
Yeah, why?
Why are you wearing shoes, dude? Why?
Because I'm a f***ing human being and I don't want my f***ing toes to get crusty, my dog.
I came up with the idea of wearing shoes first. I wore shoes before you. I did this first. I was walking down the street with my damn shoes on, and I see you up in this jank doing the same thing I'm doing. That's theft.
Dude, my shoes are worse than yours. That means I wore them first, you
Yo, but you were the one. You woke up in the morning and said, "Hey, I'm gonna steal Spoctor's idea and steal the idea of wearing shoes today." You fuck. Dang it! I have to record this again. You've got to. Hey you, are you watching this on a computer? Are you watching this video on a computer? How could you? I have a computer. I watch videos on computer. I came up with that first. I did it first. You gotta stop doing that right now. You stop I'm gonna fight you. Oh. Yeah, that's the gag. That's the funny gag. Haha. There's a term for owning an idea. It's called a patent. Patents are used for technological inventions. Steve Jobs had thousands of patents. A lot of patents. The legal process of getting a patent is actually very complicated and annoying. You have to document your idea process, you have to document the prototypes, you have to document the draft, you have to define very specific detail why yours is good for the technological community. And even then it might not qualify. It's hard to own an idea legally. This is an art video. Why are you saying this, Spoctor? Well, it's because a lot of artists, mostly on DeviantArt, maybe on Twitter, I don't know, I see it on DeviantArt though, think they own everything. They think they own every asset they've ever done. They think that the first time they've done an idea and they see someone else do it, that other person shouldn't be doing it because they did it first. You see what I mean here? Artists that think they own everything. And this is a very small minority of artists, keep in mind. There's these little people out there that waltz around and say, hey, why are you using my cowboy hat on your character? Who are you? Who the fuck? Why are you here? Who are you? You took my cowboy hat! Specifically, on this website, a patent. Back to the patent thing, an idea. Patents cannot be created for creative content such as poetry, books, or music, which could potentially be subject to copyright protection, which is different than patent protection because you're holding a tangible or intangible thing, like a character. You're not owning an idea. You're not owning the little jingly jings around the necklace. You're owning the character that has the jingly jings around the necklace. I was reached out by one of my artist friends about the situation they were put in a while ago. About this one artist who's kind of who pressured them into changing their little boot design because they were buddies and they were like, they saw their friend and they were like, whoa bro, why do you have my boot design? Why you take my boots, man? Can't believe it. Let's take a look at that real quick.
Here's what an artist told a friend of mine. Starts at the bottom.
Hey, sorry to be forward, but I want to address a design you recently made. Here it is. I obviously have no problem with someone adding shoes to an OC, but this design shares many clear attributes with my own, as well as the boots, which are very much like icing on the cake. I've known you for a long time, so I'm honestly surprised by this. If you'd consider changing that aspect of the design, I'd appreciate it for obvious reasons. I can't make you do anything, but the inspiration's so overbearingly obvious, and it's also knocking off something that's very symbolic to me, so that's just an extra slap.
I changed the boots to brown. I'll make it where he can have different types of shoes and clothes. Let me know if that's all okay with you.
Well, I think it's still, very close to my own designs, just considering the markings, and I'm happy you changed the color at least. Thanks for making the edit.
You had someone change a design because they had the same boots as your character. And it looked similar to your other character. Let's take a look at that. Let's actually take a look. Let's see how similar these characters look. Ah, I see now, yeah. They're obviously very similar. Now, I completely understand where this is coming from. No, you changed. Oh, it's a freaking pair of shoes, man. It's a pair of boots. Doesn't matter how special it is to you. It's a red pair of boots. Anyone can think that up. Just because it holds a special place in your heart doesn't mean you should restrict it from anyone else.
Pair of shoes, man. These right here. These things. You're getting fed up over these things. Really. If any of you own these shoes, I'm suing you. If any of you own a shoe like this, I'm suing you. You see this? Yeah, I'm gonna sue you. I understand a red boot, this character design, can hold a lot of value in your heart. But that doesn't mean you should restrict it from other people using it. That completely ruins creative process. Why are you not letting me draw a character this way? I'm not taking it from you. I just liked what you did and I wanted to make my own spin on it. No, you can't do that. Yeah, but no. I have an issue with artists who think they own everything. If I didn't say that already, you know? Just hammering that in. It's very prominent in the adopt community too. I've realized. The adopt community takes their character designs very, very seriously, and rightfully so. They're selling character designs. They should protect it a little bit better. But sometimes it's ridiculous. Sometimes they're going to a little bit too far lengths. I'll get into that in a minute. But there was a journal I found on DeviantArt that was calling out someone for color picking. Now, color picking is a very gray area. In my opinion, I don't find that much of an issue with it. I don't think it's a bad thing as long as you're doing something original and new with the design. But other people will disagree. And that's where things might get a little gray for me. And I'm just gonna say that's my opinion. I'm not gonna try and state that as a fact. I wouldn't do it personally because I like being unique. I like making the stuff myself. I don't like looking at other people and referencing it off of them. And this journal here was basically calling someone out for color picking somebody's character from a pony. They're two different species, two different art styles, a lot of different new everything. The colors are the same. And on its own, that's not bad. I don't think that's bad. I think that's fine. I think that's a cool spin of the brown colors. But looking at the backstory in the journal, they explain the situation in full. This character was made out of spite to get into the artist's skin. So that's kind of scummy. But ignoring that information, I think that's fine. But what's going on there? So back to the adopt community. A friend has told me that the adopt community has this concept called color palette adopts, when artists will show a series of color palettes on screen, and when someone buys the color palette, they'll give them a character based off of it. It's like a little mystery box. And I think it's pretty unique. I think it's pretty cool. But sometimes these color palette artists don't seem to understand that they're selling the character. They're not selling the colors. And when they see someone else making a similar palette, making a character out of a similar palette, sometimes they attack them, or approach them, or confront them, tell them, hey, you can't do this. Yes, they can! And even if it's not a color palette adopt, it's a normal adopt, and someone likes the, color scheme on the character, they take it, and they use it, and they're like, hey, you can't do that! And you're like, I can. And I like my character, and I think it's good, and I made something completely new out of it. Some of you guys, if you want a real good example of an artist who thinks they own everything, you should have been around here in the old ranting community a long time ago. A really old time ago, long time ago. You might recognize the name Bizrotonic. They were extremely disliked back in the day, very much disliked, for a lot of the things that they did. This person would actually steal characters from people that drew fan art. And then they would sell them. They would DMCA the people that owned the characters. It's a mess. It was terrible. And they got away with it. They would also ignorantly claim that their characters are protected under Creative Commons. Creative Commons is, in case you're not aware, Creative Commons is a license that says people can use what I've made. It doesn't say that my characters are restricted. It means that literally you're giving people permission to use with credit. You're letting people use your stuff with credit. That's not copyright protection. So she's filing false DMCAs to fan art. Fan art that she gets. Which I'm surprised she even gets fan art because she fucking complains all the time about fan art. But she gets it sometimes and she DMCAs them. Now, I mean, I can get if someone doesn't want fan art. I mean, no, I don't get it. But there's nothing wrong with it, I guess. But I don't know. That's weird. That's weird. Creative Commons allows me to put your art on this video. and say that it was drawn by Visrotonic doesn't allow you to take it down. And if you want an example of design theft, look no further than her, who stole someone else's character and sold it. And, you know, back to that saying that they think they know everything. Reading this. To sum it up, she made a pony adopt, and then when she found that the buyer was going to give it to a friend, she stole it back without a refund. Reported the buyer and resold it. Then she took back another adopt just because she grew attached to it, then redesigned it, then made a rule saying, if you do something I don't like or just want the character back, I'm taking all the adopts I gave to you with no refund. So you're scamming people because you think you own the character after selling it. Nice, man. Of course, this isn't a call-out post. This is a long time ago. I don't know if they're still up to that nowadays. But it's just a mere example of the lengths that artists can go when they believe that they truly own something when they don't. You know? There are things that people should be allowed to own and things that people shouldn't be allowed to own in artistry. You can own a character and their story. You can own a custom, unique shirt design. Like Tech's jacket does not count, but the logo on his jacket might be unique enough on its own. A well thought out fictional world and setting. Species. Well, I mean, it kind of depends. The discussion about artists doing closed species is something I need to save for another day. I'm not going to talk about that. Here's something you cannot own. Something you can't own. A hairstyle. Whoa. Common clothing. Brand clothing. Poses. Colors. And it's funny because like brands can trademark colors. But it does not mean they own the color. It means they have reign over the colors in their market. In their specific market. And that ensures that other people who make a company and go into that market don't use the same color palette or a similar kind of design as them, and otherwise they'll sue them. Be like, hey, you're trying to trick our buyers. Target's red is trademarked and their logo's trademarked. I can draw a Target. I can do that legally. I'm allowed. I can use that for anything that I want. But if I'm gonna open up a supermarket, I cannot use Target's stuff. Nope.
Hey, you see that Walmart right there? See that flower? See that flower? That's gonna be my OC. That's gonna be my OC's new eyeballs right there. The Walmart flower. Yeah. That's gonna be my OC's new flower head, you know.
Non-fictional settings and other people's characters. You can't own other people's characters. Surprise, surprise. When you reference people's stuff, that's fine. I don't see an issue with that. It's when money gets involved is when it gets a little bit more complicated. When you're selling the character. But generally overall, I don't find color picking to be a problem if you're just taking the character for yourself and not selling it. You little bitch. Color picking's kind of funny. Those traditional artists out there kind of look at you digital artists and say, hex code, what? We buy our own colors, and most of us are limited to a certain set of colors. Fucking pussy. How dare you use the same red Crayola crayon as me, you little bitch! Some of you might know exactly what I'm talking about in this video. Others of you might not, and be fortunate that you do not. And obviously, it's not a large majority of artists like this. It's a minority of artists. They're kind of they're around there somewhere, right? This video isn't directed towards that minority because they're not gonna listen. They're not really gonna want to listen. But for the majority out there who already know about this stuff, don't feel pressured by these artists. Don't feel pressured by the artists that ask you to change something just because it's similar to what they have. Use your own discretion and say, should I have drawn this or should I have not drawn this? And change it if you want. But don't let them push you around just because you didn't change it. Yeah? Use your own discretion. Just don't steal characters or, you know, stuff like that. That's all for the video today.
Hey! Are you wearing a Walmart raptor head?
What? Yeah, I am.
I bought that too. I recorded that in my video, man. You can't do that. That's theft.
Wait, so I can't use an item I bought in Walmart for my videos?
No, you can't use the head that way. Even if it's a character I don't even own. Apologize!